Crosses over, launches. Oh my goodness! She is back!
For 54 years, one basketball record stood untouched, surviving legends, superstars, and entire generations of scorers. Most believed it would never fall. Then a player from Iowa changed everything. Caitlin Clark didn't just break a record once held by Pistol Pete Maravich. She shattered a piece of basketball history that had become almost untouchable. How did a small town what made her journey different from every great scorer who came before her? And why did the moment become so massive that even LeBron James stopped to acknowledge it? From a historic chase to a record-breaking night that captivated the sports world, this is the story of what Caitlin Clark actually broke. Think you know Caitlin Clark? Let's find out. Let's play a quiz and test your Clark IQ. Whose all-time NCAA scoring record did Caitlin Clark surpass in February 2024? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, B. Lynette Woodard, C. Pete Maravich, D. Diana Taurasi. Comment your answers below. I'll reveal the correct answers later. What Caitlin Clark actually broke. To understand what Caitlin Clark broke, you have to go back, not just a few years, all the way back to 1970, when American culture looked
Oh, that's not gonna waste much time. Caitlin Clark has her second three-pointer.
different, when women's basketball was played in near total obscurity. Phenom reached a number that seemed impossible when a college player named Pete Maravich was rewriting everything anyone thought was possible with a basketball in his hands. Maravich, known as Pistol Pete, attended Louisiana State University from 1967 to 1970. What he did during those 3 seasons defies easy description. He averaged 44.2 points per game. Across his entire college career, did a number so far beyond anything before or since that the record book simply placed it at the top of the page and left it there, untouched, as a kind of monument to an era that no one expected to be revisited. So, are you ready for the correct answers? Let's reveal them, and the winner is answer C. The number that matters most is this. Pete Maravich scored 3,667 points. Pete Maravich is more than 50-year-old record, 3,667 points, without the benefit of the three-point line, which did not exist in college basketball at the time. Every point was earned from inside the arc or at the free throw line. The three-point line was not introduced to the CAA until 1980. Maravich did what he did without it. Think about that for a moment. The most efficient scoring weapon in modern basketball, the shot that has reshaped was simply not available to him. And yet, for more than 5 decades, nobody came close. Why did the record survive so?
WNBA Finals, New York Liberty, Houston Comets, Teresa Weatherspoon from behind half court to give.
Long. Part of the answer is structural. The modern game produces high scorers at a rate the 1970s never could have imagined. But the record requires not just points per game. It requires volume. It requires playing across multiple seasons at an elite level without injury, without decline, without a team structure that funnels possessions. The combination of individual dominance and opportunity is extraordinarily rare. Players came. Some got close enough that analysts began tracking their pace against Morovich's career total. Most fell short not because they lacked ability, but because the circumstances that produce a record like this, a program built around one player's scoring over multiple full seasons at a volume that redefines what college basketball can look like. Those circumstances had simply not presented themselves again until Caitlin Clark arrived at the University of Iowa, and by her junior season, the question was no longer whether she would break it. The question was when. What does 54 years of a record mean in a sport's cultural memory? It means that generations of players grew up knowing the number existed, feeling its gravity, and either quietly aiming for it or quietly deciding it was.
The steal by Hudson of Atlanta to the Busher of New York to Maravich of Atlanta. Beautiful pass to Collins of Boston.
Unreachable. It means the record had become part of the furniture, an assumed permanent fixture of the record books. Something you point to but do not actually expect. The night it moved, the weight of those 54 years came with it. But to understand why Clark was the one who finally reached it, the beginning of a story that was, in retrospect, always pointing toward this moment. History does not arrive overnight. There is a version of the Caitlin Clark story that gets told as a sudden arrival, a player who appeared from nowhere in the 2021 college basketball season and transformed the sport overnight. That version is useful for headlines. It is not accurate. The people who watched Clark develop, her coaches at Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines, Iowa, the recruiting analysts who tracked her from her freshman year, describe something different. They describe a player who, from a very young age, was doing things on a basketball court that had no frame of reference. Sport at every level, not just scoring, not just shooting, the willingness to create for teammates in ways that elite scorers almost never prioritize. Clark chose Iowa, a program with history, but not the dominant national recruiting brand of a program like Connecticut or South Carolina.
Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
Because of what head coach Lisa Blutter offered: the freedom to be herself, the freedom to initiate offense from half court, the freedom to shoot from distances that most coaches would have eliminated from a player's repertoire. The moment they arrived in college, Iowa's system was built gradually but deliberately around what Clark could do. Her freshman season was interrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The 2019-20 season ended abruptly. The passing, the court vision, and the following year was played under restrictions that altered everything about college athletics. But even in a fractured environment, the production was exceptional to be why her sophomore season, the volume of points was beginning to register differently, not just as individual brilliance, but as pace against Maravich's record. Analysts covering college basketball began running the projections. Her scoring rate across the number of games she was likely to play, Clark was on a trajectory that placed Maravich's total within reach, but only if everything held together. An major injury, consistent usage, a full senior season. All of it had to line up. What is remarkable looking back is how consistently it did. Clark played through the physical.
Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Maisha Hines-Allen, and Monique Billings round out the starting five.
Demands of being the most targeted player on the floor in every game she entered from her sophomore year onward. Opponents designed defensive schemes specifically to limit her. Double teams, traps at half court, physicality that pushed the boundaries of what officials were calling. She absorbed it, adjusted, and kept producing. The three-point shooting was the accelerant. Maravich scored his points too. And doing it from distances that left defenders with an impossible choice. Or give her space and watch the shot leave her hand from 35 feet with complete confidence. Her junior season 2022 to 2023 produced numbers that made the record feel not just reachable but inevitable. Across that season, Clark averaged over 27 points per game and continued